So if you're in your 20s and your entire portfolio is in dividend stocks, then you might be leaving a lot of money on the table, and here's why. And I know that dividend yield sounds like a very attractive thing to have. I mean, who wouldn't want to get paid a certain percent every month, steady, consistent income? It makes a lot of sense. However, when you actually run the math, there's a huge opportunity cost compared to other forms of investing, especially if you have time on your side. And the younger you are, the more opportunity costs you're leaving on the table by chasing dividend stocks. And I'm not saying dividends are bad, but if you're younger and you have more time on your side, then it makes sense to invest more into growth instead rather than chasing dividends early. While growth assets may not pay you cash right now, they will give you a much faster rate of equity appreciation, which then you can later convert into dividend income after you've had the appreciation. Here's an example. So let's say two people invest $10,000 at the same exact time. Person A plays it safe and they buy a 4% dividend stock that reinvests every year. After 20 years, they would have around $22,000. And if person B instead chooses to buy growth stocks that, let's say, average about 12% a year, after 20 years, that same 10K becomes nearly $96,000. That's with no additional contributions. Now, here's the catch. If person B takes that $96,000 and converts it into a dividend paying stock of 4%, then they will earn $3,800 a year. Meanwhile, person A that only bought dividends from the start will only be making $880 a year from that same 10K invested. So it's the same starting point, same 20 years, but a totally different result at the end. And it's also more likely that you will actually need dividend income later in life when you're retired or you don't work anymore. But while you're young, you should be actively working and investing. Now, of course, growth investing isn't always smooth sailing. There's definitely some higher risk when you chase higher returns. If you're someone that doesn't want to take the risk, then that's fine, but just know that there's a lot of opportunity costs being left on the table. But if you have time on your side, those growth years can really make a difference on your life 20, 30 years from now. While dividend investing may feel like it's a safer thing to do and that you're being more responsible, it's actually not when you are young because time is your biggest asset. So the way I see it, when you're still young and earning income and actively working, it makes a lot more sense to invest it more into growth rather than dividends first. And then as you get older and you're closer to retirement, you can then convert all that equity appreciation into a dividend income paying portfolio that's going to pay you a lot more than if you had just started dividend investing from the start. But as always, this is not financial advice. You do your own research and invest however you want to. That's just my opinion. Hope this helps. Peace.